Kinsley, and I'm running for president.
Hi, I'm Neely, and I'm running for vice president.
Okay, friends, and today we're going to ask you a few interview questions. The first one we have is for our president nominee. If you were writing a student bill of rights for your school, what is the most important right you would include?
If I was writing a student bill of rights for my school, the most important right I would include is the freedom of speech. I like to hear everyone's voices because we all have different opinions, just like God made us. I will take in consideration to hear others' ideas before I make my final decision.
I appreciate that. Good job. Okay. All right. Our next question is for our vice president nominee. How can people too young to vote or hold office still participate in the government?
People too young to vote or hold office, they can watch the news and read newspaper articles about government.
Okay. All right, Vice President, this one's for you again. Should it be easier or harder to amend the Constitution than it currently is? Why or why not?
I think it's perfect just the way it is, because if you make it too easy, then there's going to be unnecessary amendments that don't need to be there. And if you make it too hard, then the amendments that need to be there aren't going to be.
Very good, very good. Okay. President nominee, this is our last question for the interview session.
Okay.
What is the number one thing that you would do to help your 5th grade class?
The number one thing I would do to help my 5th grade class is to make sure no one's left behind on learning, because maybe at IG nighttime, if you struggle in math, you could go to Miss Glaspie's. So then when it comes to no one's left behind, because I want everyone to have the opportunity to succeed.
Very good. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining us here today.
My name's Levi Benedict. My name's Connor Sharp.
What are you running for?
I'm running for president. I'm running for vice president.
Okay, here we go. Our first question is for our president nominee. If you were writing a student bill of rights for your school, what is the most important right you would include?
My most important right would be the ability to use the restroom when needed.
Okay, why?
Because people need to go to the restroom, and sometimes when the teachers use the breaks, sometimes they don't have to go then, they have to go later.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Vice President nominee, your question: how can people too young to vote or hold office still participate in government?
They can participate with the government by holding signs to help people choose which one they want to vote.
Okay, and I have one more question for you, Vice President nominee. Should it be easier or harder to amend the Constitution than it currently is? Why or why not?
It's going to be harder because if the Constitution's already built, how are we going to be able to redo it?
Okay. All right. And Mr. President nominee, what is the number one thing that you would do to help your 5th grade class?
It would be student participation, like going to pep rallies and class activities.
Okay, so can you explain that further? How would you help your 5th grade class with those things?
Like educational games to learn more,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this interview, and until next time.
I'm Sawyer, and I'm running for president. My name's Reese, and I'm running for vice president.
Okay. Our first question's for our president nominee. If you were writing a student bill of rights for your school, what is the most important right you would include?
I would say positive school climate, and by creating a positive school climate, it will make students feel safe, and it would make it more easier for them to learn more fully.
Okay. All right, Vice President nominee, this question's for you. How can people too young to vote or hold office still participate in government?
Ask a youngster if their family or older friends can go vote, and ask them to go to a campaign.
Okay, Vice President nominee, this one's for you. Should it be easier or harder to amend the Constitution than it currently is?
It should be easier because sometimes you don't know what it's like to change in the law, and some people might just not feel confidence in the law.
Okay. All right, and President nominee, this last one's for you. What is the number one thing that you would do to help your 5th grade class?
I will be a positive role model and encourage my classmates to be respectful and kind to all 5th grade.
Very good. Thank you so much, ladies.
We got something. 3, 2, 1.
Go youngsters!
I'm Ella Blackman, and I'm running for president.
I'm Cole Morgan, and I'm running for vice president.
All right, our first question is for our president nominee. If you were writing a student bill of rights for your school, what is the most important right you would include?
Innocence, because sometimes we walk at recess and some people aren't talking, so they shouldn't have to walk.
Very good. Okay. How can people, vice president nominee, how can people too young to vote or hold office still participate in government?
Say your opinion.
Stating their opinion. Thank you. All right, vice president nominee, this one's for you also. Should it be easier or harder to amend the Constitution than it already is?
No.
Why not?
Because it's good how it is right now.
Okay. All right, president nominee, what is the number one thing that you would do to help your 5th grade class?
Be a good example and help others.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much.